gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
What is up, and welcome to an episode of the Voices of the Black and Gold, your go-to podcast for all things LAFC. As always, it's good to have my buddies here, Tony, Andrew. Guys, we have a lot to cover, a lot to talk about, another two-game week. And you look, the beginning of the week started out fantastic, okay? We went and played in Minnesota. The game wasn't what we expected, but we got the W. We walked out of a place of a team that's sitting in second place, and we just, we got the win. It's something that LAFC hasn't done in Minnesota, so I was happy for us to get the full 3 points. And then, we go into El Tráfico, and we have a 3-1 lead to walk away with 1 point. So we have a lot to cover here. I don't want to spend too much time on Minnesota. So I'm going to just welcome both of you. And then for your open statements, you can say what you want about Minnesota. And then we're going to get into the grit of this conversation, which is the El Tráfico game. So, Tony, what's up, man?
What's up, you guys?
Talk a little bit about Minnesota game.
The Minnesota game, I was surprised. I mean, the three of us all agree that we'd be okay coming out with a draw. I think we and you said 1-1, Nick, and then Andrew said 2-2. But hey, I was really surprised that we got the call. We got that PK. Bouanga was clinical on the spot, like he usually is, and defense played pretty good. And hey, I'll take 3 points from a second place team any day.
I agree with that. Andrew, talk to me a little bit about the Minnesota game, because look, as I know we want to get on to the meat of this conversation, but we have to talk about, as he said, second place team. We go in their house, first win there, and we bring home 3 points.
Yeah, we had to get creative with our lineup, and the way it looked, I think everyone kind of looked at this, was like, this kind of has to be a perfect game. And the team that it was coached, it was a perfect game for how it had to work out. Our defense, I think, played as good as they could given the circumstances. We got our penalty for Bouanga that will always guarantee us something at least. So it went as good as it could have in Minnesota. And it worked out well for us.
It worked out well for us. I mean, I don't think any of us were like super stoked and was like, hey, this was the best game we've ever played. But all of us were happy with the win against second place in the Western Conference. That's a fair statement. Then we go into El Tráfico. And this is where I have a problem, gentlemen. I have been tweeting out about Dolo is out for a while now. I have aggressively got a little bit worse on it. I'm not going to lie to you on it. But when it comes to going into El Tráfico's, the one thing with Bob Bradley that bothered me is he always said it was another game. It's another game, and we're going to get the 3 points, but it's just another game. And I remember when we hired Cherundolo, the 32-52 heads are on the bleachers, and they're talking to him, and they make a deal to say, hey, look, we want a lot of respect on the El Tráfico. And I don't feel like we get that from the team, really, ever. And the first half of the game, I was like, wow, this is incredible. LAFC looks great. They look like they showed up for this game. And then we just shit the bed, took a 3-1 lead, and just completely blow it towards the end of the game. We get a red card. We do some weird changes. We start parking the bus, and things just go absolutely south on us. So we're here to talk about it a little bit, right? LAFC, as I said, blew a 3-1 lead. We go down 10 men. How angry about the results are you to this loss, Andrew?
I'm pretty livid about it. Like it was a gut punch to be in that stadium and to see it unfold like most games happen when we park the bus, but just it was a breakdown on the field. It was a breakdown in the substitutions. It was ugly as it could, and the other team wanted it more than us, and it's how it feels like it does when we tie to that, or even when we lose to them, but tie more specifically. Like they just wanted it more.
Does it feel like a loss to you?
Absolutely. Like that's a tough one. That definitely feels like a loss, and you'd hope that's one of those losses that a coach would say, "Hey, that one's on me," because some of those subs was just the most questionable thing I've seen us do in a long time.
Yeah, we're definitely going to cover that too. Tony, you were at the game. You walked out with the flag. Andrew took a picture of us and showed us you're out there on the field. Things are feeling good. You're feeling positive about it. And then, as I said, we're looking good at the very beginning. Then just to go to shit the bed on it. How are we feeling about this game, man? About the end result?
Yeah, I mean, it started off good. The experience of walking out with the crest, being at the top of the crest for myself, it was pretty cool. And then have my family there as well. I'm glad they were able to enjoy it. And even just being there, like it didn't feel like your normal Tráfico where you could feel the buzz and the electricity in the air. But I mean, it was still overall, you could feel that we wanted it. We really wanted to win that game. And then, like you said, we started off great. I mean, 2-0. These guys are playing well. Ryan Hollingshead, unfortunately, just happened to have his hand up. That was an unfortunate call. I really don't blame him for it. But then after that, the substitutions that Steve makes, very, very questionable. Like, why do you take out your two designated players while the other teams still have their two, plus Marco Royce, plus somewhat of a lethal striker in the box in Christian Ramirez? Why did you make these subs when we're just only up by one goal? We technically lost 3-3, but we also gave up. Like you said, we gave up a 3-1 lead, but we gave up a 2-0 lead as well. So I mean, it's very infuriating. I was pissed. I literally just sat there when they scored, and I was just like, and I don't know if you guys recall, we were all in the chat, we were all talking, and I called it like in about maybe minute 70, 75. Like, don't be surprised if Carson ties it. And sure enough, maybe I jinxed it. I don't know. You guys can blame me for that one.
So do you take this as a loss?
Yeah, it's a 3-3 loss for sure.
For sure. Okay, because, I did tweet out about it, and I was getting a lot of positive remarks like, hey, this is true, Dolo out. And then other ones are like, yo, you need to slow your roll. It's not that bad. For me, it is that bad. This is a big deal. Okay? You can't, as I said at the beginning of this conversation, is I want LAFC to show up for these games. I want there to be, how we as fans circle these games, no matter how many times we play them. I want the team to feel that energy from us, and I want them to want it as bad as we do, no matter what. And I need the coach to have the same mentality, and it just doesn't feel that way like normally. But at the beginning of that game, I was quite impressed with how LAFC was playing. I thought that we were playing very well to go up 3-1. Felt good, as Tony, as you said, like the handball. I wasn't really fazed by it. It was like, okay, it happened. We're going to get by this. Then when the second goal came in, I was like, okay, now I'm a little concerned. And then we get the red card, okay? And I don't know. And I guess that's why I want to bring it up. Are you guys mad at Segura for the red card? For me, I didn't mind it that much. And this is why. We are only down at that point. We are down. We're up 2-1. And I feel like it was given the energy saying, no, you're not going to take over from, you're not going to treat our guys this way. And I am going to be the enforcer because we have no air long. And he's trying to show some leadership and be the protector of our players. And so I didn't mind it. Now, I don't know if it was really a red card, but when you see it, it looks bad. His hands are on his neck. But Andrew, are you mad at Segura?
I am mad at Segura for
Okay.
this one. I think it's a bigger picture mad, not in the moment. Of course, like in the moment, yeah, you're defending your players, but at the end of the day, with that, like you're going after Diego Fagundes, who isn't notable for anything other than just starting shit. And like if you get under David Martinez's skin, it's one thing, but the hardest thing is that we have two starting center backs on our roster, period, and you're flat out going and choking this guy. Like at the end of the day, it's probably going to be more than a 1-game suspension. I mean, that was right in front of him. He kept on pushing the issue, and Tafari was the one that stepped in and came and grabbed Segura and moved him away. You would just hope it in those moments, though it's a fiery game and you can kind of tell that it's slipping and you don't have the offense like you did at the beginning of the game. As far as it went, like I think bigger picture, it could hurt us a little bit more than what that fiery passion was. It ended up being at the end of the game. If we won, I might have a different view of it, but like the bigger picture of it, I think he might be suspended for more than 1 game for full on hands on the neck.
I mean, when I hear it that way, Tony, I should be a little bit more upset with him, but I like those Bulldog players like that,
Yeah.
right? Because we need it on the pitch, but it is true. Is at the right time for him to actually put his hand on his throat? Maybe not.
No, wrong time. He should have. I believe he's our longest tenured player now since Carlos is gone. He should know better. He should be that leader. He should. Yeah, it's okay in the moment, like Andrew said. In the moment, we all get mad and we react a certain way. But I think if Segura really wants to be that leader, he should have stepped up, pulled people away, maybe a couple pushing and shoving a little bit, maybe a yellow card. That's about it. You don't have to go and get baited in, because that's what he did. That's what Fagundes did. He baited him in there, and that's exactly what happened. You just and he gets that stupid red. And now, like Andrew said, we only had literally 2 center backs on our entire roster, and he's going to be most likely suspended because it was just a straight red. So now we're already thin in center backs, and now you're going to make us even more thinner. Like, you should really know better.
So was the red card the problem, or was it Dolo's sub, Tony?
Oh, it's Dolo subs first. Because without those subs, I don't think any of that happens. I feel like because Bouanga and Darusin were playing pretty well. Maybe take out Darusin and put in who do you put? Martinez. Maybe put in Martinez right there and leave Bouanga. And why do you take out Denis Bouanga when he's on fire? He's already had 2 goals in transition. There weren't penalty kicks like how we've seen in the past few games. Like, he was on a good one. So why you take out Bouanga? I have no idea. But like I said, and then Yaboa putting him in that position, y'all was just running around, really. Like, I just seen them chasing. It looked like little kids, like AYSO game, just chasing the ball around everywhere. So I think this all falls back on Steve.
Andrew, where are you at? Is it on Steve's subs, or is it the red card of Segura where the change happened?
These subs were some of the worst tactically I've seen us make. We, for better or for worse, we're going to have Dolo, and he's going to park the bus when we're up a goal, no matter what happens. It's just it's what's going to happen. As shitty as it is, it's just what he's going to do. And it's how we lose to teams. It's how we end up tying teams, because you slowly take away what we're good at. And then out of nowhere, you take out our best player who scored 2 goals, could have had 3. And then you do that and you put in Yaboa. You put in David Martinez for anybody, cool, fine. Then you take out Ordaz too, who's proven that he's big enough for these games. He's earned that respect. He was great in that game too. You take away any semblance of an attack that we have against a team that needs to score goals. Like, why do they need to have any defenders back? Both of their defenders were in the penalty box for that last minute goal. Like, there is no need to defend us when there's Yaboa, running along the sideline, not knowing where the ball is. Like, there's no need to worry about us offensively. Like, you take them out. That second goal, I mean, Tillman and Amaya were just lazy. That midfield, it's where it started, was the breakdown for them. It wasn't good. It should have been Tillman that went out, not Delgado. Delgado's trying to coach on the sidelines. I saw him talking to that team more than what I saw Dolo talking to that team in the 20 minutes that he was out. Like, why do you not have the midfielder that used to play for them on there knowing what they're going to do? It's insane to me. To take anything away that we possibly could have countered with, it made us one-dimensional, like it always does when we lose. It doesn't matter if it's the second team placed in the West that we played last Wednesday, or if it's the last team in the West that we played. We do the same thing, and it bites us in the eye. It's terrible. It's not entertaining. You can see it starting to wear on these players. Like, how can you defend that, even as a player? So the subs were the thing I've been the most pissed about, if you couldn't tell. So
No, dude, I was pretty pissed
you know.
about it too. I didn't understand why he would take out Denis Bouanga at all. Denis, during his press conference, and if you guys haven't seen it and you're looking for it, you can go over to Voice of the Black and Gold YouTube. And we put up all the pressers, but I have his and Cherundolo's, and we're going to talk about Cherundolo's loser mentality here in a minute. But he was frustrated with the fact that he came out in this particular game, and he talked about that to an extent. And I love to hear the fire that was coming out of him. Like, why would you take me out? I don't know what I did wrong for you to take me out. I thought I was playing well at that point. So, I didn't understand it either. And so I'm very frustrated with it. Again, I don't think that's why I'm upset with Segura, because we need some heart. We need some backbone. But to your point, Andrew, we really can't afford to lose him right now. So I agree with that 100%. But we also have to show some type of leadership. Someone has to step up and show some balls. And I feel like he's the only one that really is that guy right now, Tony wrote us in our chat and said, hey, Nick, you should share this. And I wanted to share this real quick because this came up on their thing. Tony, just talk about this, why you wanted this up a little bit.
Key number 3, respect the matchup. Steve Cherundolo did not respect the matchup whatsoever the moment he made those substitutions and taking out Denis Bouanga. We're up 3-2 at that point. He didn't even make defensive substitutions. He made a like-for-like substitution, which for players that are not for like at all. Maybe, like I said, maybe Martinez for DeRozan, but Bouanga for Yeboah, horrible call. But it's that, and maybe we could call out some players too who didn't respect the matchup as well. I feel like Markey actually stepped up at this game better than he did in the game in May, where Carson tried to mess with his head and everything, and you could tell he was out of whack. He proved himself for this game. Tillman has been playing pretty well, and now I don't know if it's the pressure of El Tráfico, maybe it's the pressure of delivering to the fans, or maybe, I don't know, they say maybe the jersey's too heavy for some of these players.
Jersey is too heavy for some of these players, Andrew. I'll put it back up here. When he said for me to put it, you liked it. So what is it about this that stuck out to you of key matches that we didn't implement? Like, this is what they were saying we need to do, but we didn't do any of these when I go back and think about it, Andrew.
Yeah, 1 and 3 are the hot button things for me. The respect the match, like Tony say, you've never once felt that there's been an El Tráfico where Dolo respects this match, and he just hasn't. You don't feel it. Like, it was so puzzling pulling out Bouanga, and all anybody could do was just watch Bouanga walk off the field to see a reaction, because I'll never forget when they first started pulling Vela out slowly, and he would throw his little tantrum, but shout out to the GOAT. But still, it gave shades of that. Like, what the hell are we doing? Like, Bouanga was dialed in. He had talked about this before, like how it felt like a final. He had the right mentality. He had the right leadership through it. And to pull him for Yeboah, who did score against us when he played for Columbus, but hasn't really done much for us here other than just look confused on the field. So, getting back to the other one, the first point on those is, getting in there, like into their defense, and we really didn't challenge them all that much in the second half. And it's so hard to watch a team know, and all you have to do is just step on the gas, or just put your foot on the throat of your rival when they are the worst they've ever been. The Red Bulls put up 7 against them, and we're afraid to put up more than what we actually could. Those 2 points for me were just like Max inadvertently, though he like has to cover them in a very positive way, like very much like had 2 of his key matchup points just mocked by this coaching staff. So that was my piece on those 2 points.
You know, when I think about it, it's crazy, right? As you said, the worst Galaxy in their history, right? We go there, we get a tie. They come to our house. We have a 3-1 lead. We walk away with a tie. Like for it not to feel like a loss is absolutely mind-blowing, and I'm going to share a clip here in a minute of Dolo talking about it, and I don't quite get it. But, look, we're going to talk about the stats real quick, because 35% of possession, no accurate crosses. What has happened to our identity that you can't get any accurate crosses and you only hold the ball 35% of the game with a team that is at the very bottom, the worst in their history? I mean, this is crazy, Tony, when I look at these stats and I see numbers like that, but yet people are still saying LAFC is okay. They're a team that's okay. They still got games in hand. It's okay. But this is 2 crucial points that we could have used. That would have been 12 points in the last 2 weeks out of 4 games. You're talking about a big swing for us and momentum going up, which we talked about last week because we're about to go into Leeds Cup.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. I mean, like you said, we lost our identity. Before we were that team, that Bob Bradley team that would just play wave after wave after wave attack. It didn't matter if we were up 1-0, 3-0, 4-0. And I said it a few weeks ago on the show. When was the last time we scored at least 4 goals in the game? It's been quite a while. We don't have that anymore. And we can't rely on Denis Bouanga to do it all the time. Like, yeah, he stepped up. And I think he could have had a hat trick this weekend, or maybe even 4 goals, because he was on fire.
He was on fire.
He just needed that ball. He needed that ball. I always say, like, give it to Denny and let's see what he brings out. He brought it out this weekend. And I really think he could have got a hat trick, maybe even 4 goals. But, I mean, that substitution is what really, I think that killed the entire moment, because you could feel it in the stadium the moment. Everyone looked puzzled, like, why is Bouanga coming out of all the people on the field? Why Bouanga?
Andrew,
that subbing out Bouanga, like I won't forget anytime soon. It just like what a vibe killer, like you were saying, Tony, was for us. If you look at our schedule going forward, I think San Diego at home is probably the only other real notable game we have the rest of the year. And like, trolls can say whatever that they want, that like, this rivalry is a big game to us. Like, hell yeah, it is. It's a big rivalry to us. Like, outside of, at least for me, looking at the schedule in that San Diego game at home, this was our biggest game of the year that we had left, just to like even show some identity or show that, we'd be capable of having a killer instinct in the playoffs. And we just saw what Dolo always is. And it was very hard going forward, being like, okay, well, how am I supposed to be excited about this? And then Mondo Fresco playing El Rey at the end of the game when we tied, I was if you weren't in the stadium, it was that was the last thing you wanted to hear at the end of the game. But yeah.
So he asked, he heard that the media isn't allowed certain questions or else they lose their media creds. And then he said, Nick, do you know any truth about this? And that is true. It's very true. And this might get mine. It's just the facts. That's why they're all soft questions. It shouldn't be that way. I think the pressers over the weekend were a lot harder for Cherundolo, even though the way that he still answered them, because how are people finding anything good to say about the way that it's being played? So even the ones that are the pets there, and they know who they are. They're the ones that always ask the softball questions. They get first dibs and they get to have theirs be shown on their LAFC account, and then the other ones they get taken out, and then they get their credits taken away or credentials, and that's fact. So maybe that will change, and hopefully it does, because it would be nice for us fans to get the questions that we want answered and not be silenced. So yeah, that's facts about that. So all right, I'm gonna just go on and jump into it. I was gonna ask a couple more questions about that, but this is gonna be about Dolo since we're getting into the pressers and all that stuff. I just want you guys to listen to this little quick soundbite.
Past a couple of weeks for us, and we've been on a great run. And yeah, we would have wanted 3 points tonight, but we maybe earned only 1 tonight, and that's okay.
And that's okay. That's okay. All right, so here's my rant, guys, and I'm going to try to make it as short as I can, but I have something to say, and this is what makes me absolutely sick of Dolo, and I'm sick of him. Okay, when it all started was when we kept losing games. Okay, in the finals, and I noticed that everybody was like, "Well, at least we're making it to the finals." And for me, I don't want to be a second place team. I want to be first. I want to push the envelope. That's what we were promised at the very beginning. When LAFC, they even talked about LAFC. I see Miami pushing it. I know that's going to piss off a lot of people, but I think what they're doing is great. They took a page out of what LAFC did with Gareth Bell, and they just did it this year. That's fantastic. They're pushing it, right? But when it comes to the way that Dolo does his pressers, they have never been for me. I need more from my coach. I need more passion from the coach. I need someone to be able to speak to us fans, and I don't feel like we get that from him. When they silence you over stuff, I think is a freaking joke. But not only that, when you say it's not all about winning, that is a loser mentality. And that trickles down to the locker room. It truly does. And then when you say, hey, we've had a great 2 weeks, but we lose 2 points to our rival, but it's okay. Like, it's not okay, dude. It's not okay that we don't worry about winning. And it's not okay that we lose 2 points to our rival, who is the worst that they've ever been. That doesn't sit well with me. And so for that reason, I am a Dolo out guy. I don't want him in this club, not a day more. I wish today I would have had to change all this and been like, Dolo's out. Tony even goes, Nick, what happens if he's gone? And I said, it's not going to happen, Tony. He's here. But I'm not happy about it. I'm not. So there goes my rant. And I apologize that it was so long-winded, but I could go on for an hour talking about this, Andrew. I could go on an hour talking about this, Tony. Like, I am pissed off that he is okay with 1 point. And I am pissed off that it's not about winning to him. Andrew.
I don't have much to debate on with you on your stance on Dolo. I can't stand the mentality. I think over the years I've defended his calmness and kind of aloof demeanor in press conferences. I think it takes a certain type of calmness to be a coach, but there are times when you need passion, and I think just slowly it's been picking away at me over the last 2 years, and like coming to a front, about a month or two ago. But like you can't have that kind of mentality and expect to be a winner. You can't have that kind of mentality as a coach, as a leader of a team. I hope to God he's not saying that word for word to his players in the locker room as well. I love our assistant coaches, but I still maintain we just need a clean sweep and a rebuild from top to bottom. And I want him gone, and I know how awful the rest of the year is going to be watching this style of play. I think we've reached the point of no return where if JT was going to let him go, like he would have done it by now. I think he's going to get under all of our skin the rest of the year progressively more and more. You can see that he doesn't care anymore. You can see that it's just whatever to him now. You can't say it's okay to get a draw. You can't say it's just another game. Like, I don't like. I want us to have a home run higher, but I just want a coach that says a rivalry matchup means something to us and that we're gonna go all out. And I'm gonna make sure my team is ready to put our pedal to the floor. And another analogy, knock them out, like just KO them. I want a coach to say that for once. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of, we've learned a lot. And all of that. I'm just done with it. I want someone, like I said, that's going to go, yes, this game means a lot. Yes, we will be ready. Yes, our intention is to go in and destroy this team. This is our city. That's what I want out of a coach.
Tony, he's not asking for a lot, but we get these press conferences that we get. It's okay that we walk away with 1 point. How do you feel about that press conference? Am I overreacting?
Well, right now, just getting quick to Andrew, I mean, it's that bad now that we've gotten to that point where we're starting to settle. Where it's like, just give us anyone already. Just get us out of this shithole. We'll take an AYSO coach. It doesn't matter anymore. And before we were like, no, we need a home run type or a high caliber type of high coach. Now it's just like, just get me out of this shithole. Just put whoever you want. Put the Kit guy as head coach. Put anybody else as Steve Cherundolo. And that is sad because we weren't like that a few years ago. Yeah, he brought us our first MLS Cup. Thank you for that. And going back to your point real quick, Nick, how you said that I don't want to be a second place team. I don't. Neither do I. I want us to have the same number of conference titles as the same number as MLS Cups. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen now. But, I mean, it is what it is. But for me, as far as Steve Cherundolo, it's the words that he says, the way he said it. Oh, we wanted 3 points tonight, but maybe we earned a point. Had it been in reverse and we were down 3-1 and we come back and tie it 3-3, okay, we've earned that point. We didn't earn a point. We lost 2. We could have, and we probably should have lost the game, if anything. I think if we really would have lost the game, yeah, it really would have pissed me off even more. But I would have been like, you know what? It's okay. Dolo's out. But who knows? I don't know what JT's plan is. And I feel like we talked about Leagues Cup last week and how I sold it to you guys that we need to win Leagues Cup or at least finish in third place to attract the new coach. I think JT needs to make that, just rip that Band-Aid off, tell Steve, hey, thanks, bro, you're out. Get someone started right now to start implementing these things because they start, next Tuesday already? And so if whoever's going to take off, even if it's Ante, I feel like he could be a good interim coach. I'm not saying make him the head coach. I'm not saying give him that title. Give him the interim coach for the rest of the season. Like I told you a few weeks ago, Nick, and when we talked about it with Will, Atlanta United did it last year. They got rid of Gonzalo Pineda. They put Raul Valentino as their interim head coach, and they balled out. They made it to the Eastern Conference semis. I think that's what we need. We need some sort of new fresh blood, even if it is an assistant coach, and just get out of the shithole, this nightmare called Cherundolo now, and hopefully hope for the best. I mean, or else these games it's gonna be a long 3 more months.
No, I mean, look, it really is, long 3 months. I just don't understand. This is what I have a problem with. If he's so miserable with the way that the press conferences are and the questions that we want answered and we want more, why stay when you already know you're leaving anyway? And I know, I get it, man. JT is trying to be a great friend, but you are starting to put your job on the line for this friend because of the way he is nonchalantly answering things that should matter for us fans. And now you question, and it makes you want to question, well, fuck, man, does JT feel that way? You know what I mean? Like, what does John think about you saying that to the press conference, that it's okay that we got 1 point? You know what I mean? And it's like, that isn't what you want. You don't want that because he's actually sticking his neck out for you, keeping you until the end of the year when he shouldn't be. And so I think that's where I am. I don't know, man. It's weird to me. So Do you think when a coach goes to a press conference like that, should they be going off on the players like, oh, Segura shouldn't have done it? Like, should he be calling it out, or should he be always making a blame? Because that's what it was. Oh, the refs weren't good. Oh, we've had a bunch of games in the last 2 weeks. Like, it's always making excuses for Cherundolo. You know what I mean? It's never, oh, my subs were bad or this or that. And I get it, but maybe he thinks a player didn't play well, or maybe he thinks something else, but it's always on the ref or always because of the travel, Andrew.
Yeah, he not once, even when, we hadn't soured on him, not once has he been an accountability guy. Not once has he said, like, oh, I did this, or, oh, we weren't as prepared as we could have been. And it's always, we'll learn for it. Oh, it's because of roster restrictions. Oh, it's because we compete so much. Oh, it's because of this. Not once. You need to see that out of a leader. You need to see a little bit of humility. If your management style is calling out players, sure, but by all means, like, if that's who you are, do it. I think he's a little too, like, passive aggressive. I think he's real backhanded with the way he says things. So I don't know if it's in his DNA to flat out call people out, but again, you can just tell he doesn't care to. You can tell it at this point. Like, what good would it do him to say Eddie should have thought about that? What good would it do for him to defend pulling out our best player for however many minutes it actually was? No one's ever going to get to ask him those questions, and it doesn't matter because this team's not going to progress past what they are because their coach doesn't have to, and he's not showing that there's an element of caring and wanting to finish this out well. It's still little snide remarks, about his players, about the refs, about everything but himself, and it's like. You can point out problems all day. Hindsight is 2020, but at a certain point, as a leader in a clubhouse, you need to see a little bit of accountability. Like, as a player, you need to. As a fan base, you need to. I would think, as upper management, you need to see that as well. I don't get it. I don't get it. Would he be fired by now if he hadn't have already quit? Like, it's a fair question, I think, to look at JT for that, because we've all wanted him out, And
I mean, I would think so. I would think that if he wasn't already said that he's done, he would have to be fired at this point, Tony. So what is your take on that, Tony?
Yeah, I think he's just full of excuses now. He can't take accountability for the decisions he makes. Like, yeah, it's okay to call out the players, but in private, I don't think you throw them under the bus in front of the media.
Okay.
But he can still say, like, hey, you know what? That's on me. I made these subs. I made the decision to pull out Bouanga for whatever reason, because he has the All-Star game on Wednesday, I guess, and he's going to play 25 minutes and he needs to do good there. I don't know. But blaming the refs had nothing to do with that. Yeah, maybe that red card, but I mean, still, you can't defend Eddie for that one, not too much. Maybe the extra 2 minutes that they're saying, like, oh, he gave him extra minutes, but he didn't technically, because the whole argument and everything had started in the 89th minute and trailed into the 92nd minute. So when they announced 5 extra minutes, it's not 5 minutes from the moment of the 90th minute. It's 5 moments from that moment and on. So that's where those extra 2 minutes come for everyone online saying, like, oh, Carson got 2 extra minutes. No, that's just how the game works. If you guys don't know, it's soccer 101. But, I mean, maybe Steve needs to go soccer 101 as well. But, yeah, he hasn't, like I said, not once. I don't think I've ever seen a press where he said, like, oh, it's on me. I made these bad calls. And we're done with this already. Like, we just need – if this was any other league, I remember Tuca Ferretti when he was at Tigres, I believe. He will go off on the reporters. He did not care. He'd fucking cuss them out. He'll kick them out and wouldn't care. They can ask him whatever questions that they wanted to as well. And then, so it went both ways. And if we had a Tuca Ferretti type of coach where you can ask him wherever you want in the pressers, I'm pretty sure we get the straight answer. And he'd call out people and say, hey, this guy fucked up. This guy fucked up. I fucked up by taking out Bouanga. But we don't get that from Steve.
No, we don't get that. Sam said it's his first time here. First 10 minutes, he's already loving it. Yeah, the guys are bringing it today, man. And I knew it. When Tony wrote me and then put the thing saying that he had a lot to say, and I hit Andrew. I'm like, we running it back. He said, absolutely. I knew these fellows are going to bring it because, listen, we are real true hardcore fans. This isn't like we just watch on the weekend and whatever. Like we live, breathe, and eat this and breathe this team. And when it comes to it, we want the best for our team, right? We want this team to be everything that we promised. And when I hear loser mentality, and I keep saying it because that's what it is, I feel that it is going to affect the locker room. I feel that this is the type of thing that could trickle down into the locker room and affect some of them young kids. I'm thinking about like the Martinez's of it. The kid will already walk around at times. Well, hell, if the coach has that mentality, why shouldn't he? Sam also said, is it safe to say he lost the locker room? And
Yeah.
I would have to believe that is a yes for me.
Yeah, that's a hard yes for me.
Yeah, no, it's definitely yes. He lost the locker room. That locker room's been gone since Carlos was already gone. Because I'm big on saying this where Carlos left because of Cherundolo. He did not want to play with his style. I'm pretty sure that's why Gareth Bell left. I'm pretty sure that's why all these other players they chose not to play for Steve. And now with the rumor, and I don't know if you're going to touch on this, Nick, but the rumor of Denis Bouanga going to Club America.
Yes.
I mean, I don't blame him. I really don't blame him if he wanted to go. He's going to be the enemy now, but hey, whatever. That's other reasons. But people probably just don't want to play with Steve. And I've said this on the chat as well. Like whatever Steve does after, wherever club he's going to go to, I really hope that club looks at it and says, like, wow, like, is this the kind of coach we want? Is this the kind of whatever role he's going to play? Is this the kind of person we want? Where it's just like, oh, it's okay, let's just have fun. Like, bro, this is not AYSO. This is the big leagues.
Yes. And I'm surprised coming from Germany, that's the mentality. Like I don't quite get it. I really don't. Andrew, you want to touch on that a little bit though?
Sorry, what were we just talking about? What was your last thing you were saying, Tony? Besides Hello Kitty.
Oh, just saying that these players don't want to play for him anymore.
Yeah.
About losing the locker room.
Losing the locker room.
I don't want to put any of the bad juju out there about Bouanga rumors. I will save that negative energy in case that ever happens. But he is our best player. I love the guy. He's electric to watch. I hope he doesn't leave. And if he does, I don't know how the front office can look at themselves and knowing that they're sending this team into a full-on rebuild, going not just this offseason, I mean years, just to make sure Dolo has a job for a year. Like, it's absolutely pathetic, and it pisses me off a little bit. So with Bouanga, I hope to God it's not true. If he wants to leave, like, what can we do? I wouldn't hate the guy, but God, does it make me mad to think that we would dismantle this team all for the sake of lame duck Dolo.
Yeah, lame duck Dolo. Look, Bouanga, he is now chasing for the Golden Boot. I'm not gonna lie, I've been a little hard on Bouanga this year. Bouanga has always been one of my favorite LAFC players. I don't think that he started the season that great this year, but he has a lot of weight on him, and I can also respect that too. And I get that he's trying to carry the team like the Carlos Velas did back. Like he did at the beginning of when LAFC was a team. But he is chasing Carlos Vela's MLS goal record also for LAFC. And, he's on the All-Stars this year. I wouldn't be surprised if Club America is trying to go after him. I don't know if I believe that that's a great move for him. Maybe because, like Tony said, it is a rival. But also, I believe that MLS is on the way up. I really do. I feel like we're becoming closer with what Liga MX has. The difference is the pay structure. They're able to pay a lot more people, a lot more money, and they're able to have a more fuller team than we are. And that's just facts. And if that ever gets fixed, I do believe MLS can surpass what Liga MX does. I do. I think more people would want to come here. However, I just don't want him to go there. also. You know what I mean? Like, we need to have some type of player that says some type of player on our team for when the new coach comes to say, you can come here and play with, you know what I mean? Denis Bouanga also, just whatever it is. Like, we need some type of star power to try to entice other people to come. Because if it looks like we're in a rebuild and a fall off, it's going to be hard this summer and off season to really build this team the way that you want, Tony.
Yeah, and to touch on that, I mean, for Bouanga, it's probably just like us. He probably just wants to get out of the nightmare that Cherundolo has. We're saying like, hey, give us any other coach. He's probably thinking the same, like, man, get me out of here. This coach doesn't know how to really manage. Giroud said it indirectly, but he said it.
He said it.
He said
it, dude.
So, I mean, that's probably what Bouanga wants, where he's all like, yeah, I'm playing here. I'm a star here, but I just, it's not enough. I can't play for this person anymore. It's like being at any other job where you hate your boss and you're just like, you know what? I'll settle for less pay. I'll settle for a demotion. I'll settle for something else where I just need to get out of here. I'm already at that point before I get burnt out, or before he's the hero, before he becomes the villain, where we all start despising Bouanga for maybe lack of performances, for not producing as what we're used to, because he spoiled us for the past 2 years with winning back 20 goal seasons. So I don't blame him. Like I said, if he leaves, I don't want him to go. I want him to stay. But like, to your point, like, yeah, that's John's selling point right there. So, but I also know that this is a business, and if he's gonna sell, he might have to sell high. But you better have the backups already lined up, ready to sign on the dot. Like, hey, we're gonna bring in a Premier League star or a Bundesliga star or a La Liga playmaker or someone, a known name at least.
Andrew.
Yeah, I just hope to God like it doesn't come to it, but if the money's there, like Tony said, like, you better have something the second you announce he's leaving to announce right after. You're not gonna Dolo's leaving us shit and keep us waiting for something when when we could potentially lose our best player and our biggest player for us. So I don't want to see it happen. I think he's at a good point in his career now where, I think if we were going to sell him for money, it would have happened a year or two ago, maybe, like when he first blew up. If we were going to sell for real money, I don't think we'll get like the exorbitant amount that would make it worth it. I think he loves the city. He loves this team. Like, he, for better or for worse, is the guy that gets quadruple teamed every game. But by the way, our offense works. Hopefully, as a shooter, he enjoys that and would like to stay here with us. It's LAFC is a tough sell right now with everything.
If I can add to that real quick,
yes,
Denis Bouanga is the only reason why a lot of fans are still going, because a lot of fans still want to see what he pulls out, because he does magic, he does good. You lose Denis Bouanga, who do the fans want to see?
Nobody.
We have nobody. Ordaz, yeah, Ordaz is blowing it up. Like, I'm a big fan of Ordaz. I've been saying this since day one. That kid's gonna blow up and everything. He's gonna be a star someday. But as of right now, the superstar of the team is Denis Bouanga. Nobody wants to see Lloris. Yeah, he's a cool. He played, won the World Cup, big name, but still not the big attraction that LAFC has, like Denis Bouanga.
No, if they lose him without, like Andrew said, bringing in anyone, then we are absolutely screwed. Attendance will be screwed. The reputation of how we travel, how we sound, and it will all be for not, like, it will go down. And that's something that the front office needs to understand. We need those playmakers. We need people, the face of the club, and we are lacking that right now. And that's another reason I believe letting Giroud go and not getting rid of Dolo and trying to keep Giroud here and things of that nature was a bad move. I still firmly believe this. But look, guys, we're a bunch of LAFC nuts and all this. So I also asked Will to come on to give us at the last 10 minutes, a non-biased opinion. He gets a lot of slack for that, but it's the truth. He has a non-biased opinion when it comes to these types of games. He loves the El Tráfico games. So I said, hey, man, look, we are going to go hard and be honest about how we feel about things. But people are going to say, of course they feel that way. I want him to come on here a little bit about what he thought about the game with us. Let me bring him on here. Will, what's going on, man?
How's it going, guys?
Thanks for being here with us, dude. We just spent an hour of talking about how bad this is for LAFC. Basically having a coach saying that it's okay that we only got 1 point out of an El Tráfico game with that loser mentality. I've said it over and over in this episode, but again, loser mentality and how that affects the locker room. What did you see from that game, and what was the most disappointing part for the LAFC side?
Well, I first of all want to say that it's the biggest and the best rivalry in MLS. It's not even close. No matter how bad one of these teams are, how good one of these teams are, the game's always good to watch. It's always fun to watch. Honestly thought LAFC were running away with it, man. Like the first half, I was like, dude, they're going to just absolutely obliterate the Galaxy. They have no chance, right? And when Denny Bouanga scored that third goal and the pace he had right down the middle and just blew by them and scored, I was like, okay, it's over. It's a wrap. Like
that
that's
beautiful
the nail in
touch
the
by
coffin.
Ordaz too was great in that one,
Yes. But I guess with this rivalry, I should have learned my lesson. You can never write either of these teams off, no matter what the score is. There's a will, there's a way for one of them to climb back in. And even though the Galaxy came away with a point, it just feels like LAFC were robbed. Like they should have won. They played better the whole game, in my opinion. Maybe outside like the last little bit when LA came back, the Galaxy came back. But it's disappointing with the way they played that they did not come away with 3 points in this game. And then obviously with what Dolo said, downplaying it, saying it's not a big deal, like, oh, it's a point. Like, you should never be okay with not winning against your rival. Like you need to beat them. Ties aren't good. Losses definitely aren't good. And I don't know. I just think this is kind of like the tale of the season, right? Disappointment, not meeting expectations. And LAFC is a better team than the Galaxy this year. Everybody that's watched the games know this. And the fact that is this the first time in the history of the rivalry that both games, the first 2 games of the season, have been draws?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just like the battle of mid is like a joke. A lot of people say like this when they play each other this season. It's like the LAFC play below the level they play everyone else, and they've been dragged down to the Galaxy's level, and they're not playing as good as they should, and they're not sealing the deal. So I thought it was a disappointing performance by LAFC when you look at them not being able to get the win. They should have easily got the 3 points. Yeah. And I just feel like Dolo is just writing probably the worst chapter he could possibly write in his finish to LAFC, his tenure with LAFC.
No, very, very, very true. Andrew, let me ask you, with the transfer window opening, what's the biggest need for LAFC in your opinion now?
A week ago it wouldn't have been, but it's definitely center back now. I always think, our right back, we did this last year too, where we just have essentially 3 wing backs to play and just kind of hope no one gets hurt. We ran that with Campos last year and now have Smolikov. So I think our defense needs the reinforcements. I think if we can work out something for Del Rosa for the rest of the year, if it has to be a DP, fine. We have, I think, only 8 games left outside of Leagues Cup. Unless we can get somebody better than him, good. But with Schwanye, I believe the rumor coming over from Grasshoppers, I think as the season goes on, our midfield is showing its weakness. That we're not as strong as where we could be. But I'll maintain, like I have the last couple of weeks, our defense is our weak point, and we're just lucky to have Lloris back there because the way we play does not fit to how our depth chart looks right now. We're trying to be a defensive team, and we're only going to have like if you count Palencia, 2 starting center backs, with Segura being suspended. So realistically, it has to be defense for us in my eyes.
Tony, what about you? What do you see LAFC needs the most with this window open?
I think we need a new face of the franchise. I mean,
Ooh.
I'm not ruling out Bouanga leaving, but I still think we need that new attraction to the team, and preferably a playmaker, a number 10. That I feel like a number 10 makes everyone better around them than what they really are, and I feel like a center back would be good, but I feel like for me it's the midfield. Like I said, number 10, new face of the franchise, someone that LAFC could start saying, like, okay, this is our guy of the future for the next 4 to 5 years, 3 to 4, whatever. But that's what I would say. I think, and I mean, I've said it before. I thought it would be Gio Reyna. Rumors of him staying and going to Serie A. It is what it is. But I feel like maybe there's someone still out there that can still, be that big name and really just give LAFC a new identity with the new coach. With start fresh, new coach, new face of the new star, new face of the franchise. Let's do it.
Will, we were hearing that the Gino thing was going to happen. It seems like every time we're hearing things, it ends up turning for the worse for LAFC, and it doesn't come true. But what is it that they're searching for now? They didn't get the Griezmann last time. They didn't get the Gio this time. What should they be looking for?
Well, I think they should sell Denny if the offer is right. And look, I understand he's the best player on your team. And one of you, I think Tony had mentioned, I was, or maybe I can't remember if it was when I was on or before I was listening to the show, but someone had mentioned that if you don't keep him on the team, then maybe attendance will drop off like a rock and no one's going to go to the games.
Yep.
But I feel like you have to be think about the future than be short-sighted, because if someone's offering you 12 to 13 million for a 31-year-old winger, you have to take it, because this is the most money you're going to get for him. This is it. This is the only exit ramp you're going to get. We're going to get a decent offer for him. And I feel like knowing Dolo's going to be out at the end of the season, I don't know how you guys feel, but I don't think LAFC just have the team. I don't think they're going to be able to have the team this year to win MLS Cup. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I think it would be better to go into next season with the new coach, have 3 DP spots open, and let this guy really build his core the way he wants to build it, instead of inheriting DPs, which I just don't think that ever works out in the new coach's favor a lot of the times. I think that they I'm not saying don't do anything, but I don't think they need to put all their chips in the middle of the table this summer and do something they're going to regret. And this coach that they're going to hire in the January is going to have to completely turn everything around and not really have a lot of resources to do it.
Right. No, we talked about this last week, didn't we, gentlemen? When Tony convinced me that I was completely wrong for going for the whole MLS Cup and we're going to focus on Leagues Cup. And he's right, Will. We go for the Leagues Cup now. And then after Leagues Cup, if we let Denis Bouanga go, whatever, then maybe we let him go then, Tony, after that. And we just say the hell with the MLS Cup, because we've done good, like you said, in Leagues Cup. At least we get third. And we have our new coach. We have the money, to Will's point. And then, Andrew, we go and find the players that we need with the new coach, not under Dolo and who he thinks is good, because we know whomever he brings anyway aren't going to play this season because he has a long time taken to integrate them into the system. Maybe that's what we have to do. We have to put all of our eggs, as we agreed last week, on Leagues Cup and just let the MLS Cup go. Sell Denis, do whatever we got to do, fire sell, get ready to rebuild with the new incoming coach, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm at peace if the summer window is not, the flashiest that we've ever had. I think regardless of this January, we're going to need some new blood in that center back position going forward. So if there's someone out there and there's someone available, I don't think that would impede on whatever new coach we're going to bring in and mold around there. I'd be happy with a solid center back, and if the Chouanier signing what works out. Maybe another winger if Del Rosen goes back to America. But I don't have the highest expectations. I have a let's get through this season because it's what I'm getting from the coach. It's what I'm getting from JT. I think everyone's just kind of going, let's get through this season. And give me a center back and somebody competent for the midfield, and I'd be okay with getting through the season that way.
I mean, Tony, you're the one that crossed me over. You're the one that crossed me over. And now all I can think about is League's Cup. And to Will's point, he's giving you confirmation that you're right. Maybe you're on to something. Maybe we have to really consider not making it all the way to the MLS Cup. Focus on League's Cup. Let Denique go. And we're going to do that fire sale to help out the incoming coach. And he's going to have the spending that he wants, bring in the players that we need.
Yeah, bookmark this show and last week's show. How I said, yeah, we need to focus on League's Cup. We don't have to win it all. Make it just like I said, just try to get third place, get in that Champions League spot next year. Like I said, that's going to be your selling point for the players coming in, for the new coach coming in. Like that's more attractive than just saying like, hey, come into the team and you're going to play for the league and you're going to play in the Open Cup, maybe depending how U.S. Soccer runs it. But like I said, just right now, I think we should focus completely on League's Cup, get that at least finish in third place, and see how it goes. Maybe maybe there's free agents. I don't know. I seen some earlier today that a lot of players are being waived. Maybe we can pick up someone off waivers. I'm not sure. I think this rumor died down. I don't know if Will knows anything about it or if the guy retired. Thomas Muller. I know there were some talks there or rumors around there that he might come between the Bayern Munich and the LAFC partnership that's going on. I'm not sure where that's standing at. That might be at least a 6-month thing, at least for the half the year. We'll see how that goes, and then I don't know. Like I said, we go from there. But to Andrew's point, I feel like Andrew, bro, you sound like you're done already. You're just like, man, let's just pull the plug on this season, man. Let's just hang in there a little bit more, bro.
Listen, but Tony, we have to. He has to feel this way. It's deep in us from the coach. I mean, see, you see what I mean? It trickled into the locker room. Now it's affecting the fans, Tony.
Yeah. I think I feel whenever I go to an away game and I'm just like, damn, do I really want to spend all this money and go see the guys play out there when I'm pretty sure we're probably going to lose? Like, do I really want to do that? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
I want us to win. I'm going to be at every game. I'm going to hope that we win. But at the end of the day, like, I see the same shit that I've seen the last 2 years with Dolo. You know, our players can be good enough on any given game day, but realistically, like, when you do this with a coach, that there's not much more you can do about it. I do maintain that, you know, the depth that I talked about, like it'll put us in position for a League's Cup run. Do I think anything can be done to put us in position for like an MLS Cup and Supporter Shield? No, I want to, but like if your coach doesn't have to care, it's kind of like, you know. And one other person I do want to watch out for is whatever this Lucho Acosta situation is going on in Dallas, how he's not dressing and it's personal matters. Like, hey man, if you're not happy, I know
we'll take him.
Yeah, I know a spot for you on this field. It's Demo, you know.
Will, I mean, you've came in, you're seeing how all distraught us LAFC fans are, you know, but we've been talking about this in the back channel for a while about Dolo, but you're starting to see the frustration. I mean, it speaks volumes at this point.
Yeah, I feel like the season's a lost cause. And I think the worst thing they could have done was announce he was leaving at the end of the season. They should have probably kept it in-house until it happened instead of letting you know, because now everybody's just kind of waiting for it to happen. I kind of wonder, though, you know, this League's Cup I think is going to be a little different because it's not, which, you know, it's crazy. It starts in 10 days, so it's just right around the corner. This is a little different because it's not going to be 30 MLS teams. It's just going to be the top 18 versus the top 18 Liga MX teams. It's going to be hard. Like, I think it's going to be more difficult. And a hot take I have is I think a Liga MX team is going to win it this time. Like, I think this is going to be the first time they win it. So I think a third place, a top 3 finish is going to be really, really hard because I think there might only be one Major League Soccer team in the top 3. And I don't know if LAFC can do that right now unless we see something like someone that we're not talking about just really step up and just take the reins and play the best ball of their life. I just don't think the team right now has it in them to go on a run like that. Because I think you got to win you're probably going to have to win, 4, 5, 6 games to make it into the top 3. I'm wondering if they're going to be able to string along a run like that, especially under Dolo, right? Because he's just not good in big games.
Well, we're going to put our hope there, and we're really pushing for third place. I mean, it's not the loser mentality that Dolo has, but we have to be optimistic here, but not too overconfident and say we're winning the whole thing because we need to be down to reality. But to Tony's point, we just need something to entice people to say, especially if we lose any type of star power that we have. The Hugos, Giroud isn't going to be here. Possibly Denis is gone. You're talking about rebuilding. So enticing someone to come over on a rebuild with a new coach might be a little hard. So I got my fingers crossed. I hope that is the case, that we are able to do it. But we've went over 6.
Well, I had one quick question for you guys real quick about that. So you guys obviously said that Leagues Cup is what you're putting your eggs in that basket, right?
Yes.
Let's play the other side of that. If LAFC just do absolutely terrible in Leagues Cup and they get knocked out in their group stage, does Dolo get let go then?
Well, he should have been let go after today.
No, he should have been let go last year, but that's a whole other story. But if they embarrass themselves, and to Tony's point, this is it. This is the only thing you have a chance of winning. You don't think that they might? I mean, the fans are going to be pissed.
They're already pissed, but they're already pissed.
I think we've already reached the point of no return. I think the time to switch anything, it would have been either before or after Club World Cup. It would have been this week going into Leagues Cup. I mean, you could consider this Portland game a wash if you wanted to integrate a new coach at this time. It is as awful as it is, and I don't know how many people outside of LAFC employees will say that they still want Dolo here, but it's pretty apparent within the fan base and within the stadium. We all want him gone. I think JT would have pulled the trigger a little bit earlier. It doesn't make much sense at this point. As much as we all want him gone, I will I will get up and dance when he is fired. But
it's not going to happen though. It's not. JT is not going to let him go. To Andrew's point, he would have done it after Club World Cup. Then he would have done it today. Right, Tony? So he ain't going to do it after Leagues Cup.
I mean, he should. I mean, looking at the calendar right now, we play Mazatlan next Tuesday, then Friday against Pachuca, and then Tigres on August 5th on Tuesday. If how Will's saying, if we shit the bed and we do horrible, I want to see Dolo part of our history on August 6th. No later than that.
What if they lose all 3 games? Is it going to
happen, Tony? Is it going to happen?
If we lose all 3 games, we need to see part of our history on August 6th.
You see, he didn't say they're going to do it, though, because he knows like it should be, but it's not. They're not going to do it, guys. They're not. We should have already seen it.
I don't know, man.
Should have been after the Miami game at the beginning of the year where we blew it then. It's when it should have been.
Bro. 100%. Guys, I've had a great time. Will, thank you for coming and joining us for the little time that you did. Tony, Andrew, thank you guys for today. You guys absolutely brought it. I appreciate it. Chat really showed up for us today too. So thank you all that have tuned in to today. Look, LA's still black and gold no matter what, but we won't change. And hopefully we are heard that we want the change. We deserve the change. We want the change, and we're tired of it. So I hope that Tony and Will are right. I hope what Will asked, if we do just shit the bed, or are we going to? And I hope what Tony said and Andrew, I hope it's true. I don't think it is. I think we're with him to the end of the year. It isn't what I want, but it's what I think is going to happen. But thank you all for being here so much. LA still black and gold. Let's go, baby.